A charge of illegal mining in a picturesque corner of Queensland has hung over Belgian mining giant Sibelco for 5 years. It's accused of unlawfully taking millions of dollars of sand from Stradbroke Island, and final arguments in the case will be heard tomorrow. The company pledged it had stopped unlawful sales shortly after the charges were brought, but recordings obtained by 7:30 suggest a Sibelco customer continued to offer the sand as the prosecution was underway. It's not the company's only legal battle. Sibelco has also been referred to the state's Crime and Corruption Commission over its electoral support for the state government and is facing a High Court native title challenge. Connor Duffy reports.
North Stradbroke Island has always been one of the jewels in southeast Queensland's tourism crown, just like it was for the indigenous Quandamooka people for thousands of years.
It's extremely important and sacred to the Quandamooka people. We're Quandamooka, Moreton Bay and Eulaburraby, which is we are people of the sand and the sea.
Miners have also called it home since the 1950s. Stradbroke is a sand island rich in minerals, including the silica in its spectacularly white sand that's sought by glassmakers. The sand brought mining giant Sibelco all the way from Belgium. It took over the operation in 2001. It's now accused of unlawfully taking sand. For decades, Sibelco and its predecessors ran a sideline shipping off lower quality sand they weren't entitled to.
Sibelco can take silica sand if it's used for its chemical properties, glass making. If it mines it for use for landscaping or building construction purposes, it has to have local government approval, and it didn't have that, so it's been doing it unlawfully.
Sibelco is facing 2 charges of breaching environmental and planning laws during its time in charge, but the unlawful sales have been going on for decades. Sibelco argued that it and its predecessors paid royalties on all the sand that left the island, and it found itself being prosecuted by one government department while paying another. If you think this is just a trivial argument about different types of sand, you're wrong. The numbers involved are huge. It's estimated that as much as 1 million tonnes of sand was taken off the island without a permit. That's potentially worth tens of millions of dollars. These sand dunes have also become central to a fierce political fight when the former Labor government promised to end all mining on Stradbroke Island before the last election.
The future of Stradbroke Island does not lie in mining.
Sibelco fought back hard, rallying its 280-strong workforce and won over LNP challenger and now Queensland Premier Campbell Newman.
We will allow the mine to proceed in the way that it was originally allowed to.
It later emerged Sibelco had spent more than $90,000 running a high-profile campaign for Campbell Newman in his marginal seat. The investment paid off handsomely for the miners. After the election, the government passed laws extending the life of the diggers by potentially almost 20 years. The government has always maintained there was nothing improper about the process.
The land to us, the waters that we have behind us, it's our very lifeblood.
Cameron Costello, the CEO of the local Indigenous Corporation, says the new law violates a hard-won 2011 native title deal and a High Court challenge is underway.
The implications of this High Court proceeding is if a state government can come in and legislate over the top of a native title agreement, then every other state and territory government will likely do the same. So what does that mean for native title holders across Australia?
Indigenous and environmental activists have protested outside court proceedings against the North Stradbroke Island sand mining company.
Tomorrow, Sibelco will again be in court on the sand charges. The case has dragged on for 5 years as the company spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to have it struck out. It failed, and final submissions are about to be heard. Indigenous man Dale Ruska has uncovered evidence that the practice of selling North Stradbroke sand for building jobs without approval has continued even as the case has been before the courts. Last year, he found the sand for sale on the website of a company called Riverside Sands. The company is a long-standing customer of Sibelco's that ships its sand to the mainland. He called in his lawyer, a fellow mine opponent, Richard Carew.
I looked at the company's Riverside's website and it was clearly advertising silica sand for sale for these unlawful purposes.
After pleas to government for an investigation were ignored, they engaged a private investigator.
Good morning, welcome to Riverside Industrial Sands. This is Jane.
The investigator posed as a homeowner wanting Stradbroke's famous white sand for a rendering job.
You know, it comes from North Stradbroke Island, eh?
It comes over from Stradbroke.
They're the ones that actually do...
Sibelco.
Or Sibelco.
Yeah.
They're the ones that actually do the mining and you get it off of them, like.
Dale Ruska is furious that when he sent a transcript to government and the police, there was still no investigation.
It's become a bit of a mockery and it's a miscarriage of criminal justice, because if the average individual was to commit a crime equivalent to that of which the company's committed, you could be guaranteed that they would be charged and prosecuted.
Sibelco declined to be interviewed, but said it had not supplied sand for building since 2008, and Riverside Sands was not authorised by it to sell the sand to builders.
We take our legal obligations seriously. Sibelco periodically reminds customers of the permitted use of these products and has specifically communicated these expectations to Riverside Sand on a number of occasions.
Riverside Sands declined requests for an interview, but in a statement claimed it was unaware it was unlawful to sell the sand. It told 7:30 it has now been removed from sale and it has changed suppliers. There's still been no government investigation.
All of the correspondence that we've sent has been totally more or less ignored, therefore there's been no adequate outcome to our requests. So it's very disheartening.
Connor Duffy reporting. And the Queensland Government wouldn't offer anyone to be interviewed. You can read its statement on our website.